took off a couple. He's still going. Butler over in the corner. That's the line. Over the line he rolls. Burnside, Brenton. Oh, Collegians have turned it over. Oh, he's got it again. He's got to go. Spry will do very well. Spry will go out. Port Adelaide will push out, and they will push on to. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Area pictures today brought to you by Wojtek. Thank you very much for the continued sponsorship of this live stream. But you are looking at Tregenza Oval on this lovely Saturday afternoon. The sun is certainly out, not like the last time that we visited this part of the world, where the rain came down and came down with a vengeance. But we are here today for Collegians Indigenous Day, so there will be a welcome to country, I think, before we get going. We'll step out when that comes, but the new changed jersey for Collegians today looks very, very nice. I don't know whether we should get a close-up of it at some point, I'm sure. My name, as always, is Dave Webb. I will be joined in commentary today by Pete Cross, not Andrew Burgess, although they do look very similar, and I am told are cousins. So Crossy will be over and joining me once he's got changed. He was just involved in the second grade game. Today is second versus third on the ladder. Brighton holding top position by 1 point. So Burnside are in second on 45 points, and all Collegians in third on 44 points. Well, I mean, looking at the top four, if you look at the top four, Onkaparinga 43 points, all Collegians 44, Burnside 45, Brighton 46. It was almost like it was written. But that is your top four at the moment after 11 games played. Just having a look back at last week, all Collegians had a day out against Southern Suburbs. They beat them 64-19. And then Brighton and Burnside just getting up by the 3 points last week. So it's an interesting season, certainly a lot more close than it's been over the last couple of years. It's certainly seen somebody running away with it when we get to this side of the season. Just results from around the grounds last week as well. Port Adelaide beating Barossa 88 points to nil, 64-19 to Southern Suburbs, to Old Coles over Southern Suburbs, as we'd said. Onkaparinga, the game we watched, 75 points to 10, and then 86 points to 10 for Adelaide Uni, and then that close one down at Brighton. Burnside just edging it out 23 points to 20. We are still waiting for the teams to come out. I'm waiting expectantly. We're supposed to keep some time, but not quite there. And there is Pete Cross. Well, that's unusual. Some gets on both sides of the cameras, but at least he's got time to come straight over to us. Just waiting for the first ones to come out, and it will be Brighton who will come out first, led out by Blair Marshall. They've been a captain for a while now. They are wearing their traditional double blue hooped jerseys. Has been dubbed the Battle of Greenhill Road. These two teams not far away from each other at all. And then coming out with mascots, all Collegians, led by Tim Jaws. They are in the different jersey. It is an Indigenous jersey. There's an Indigenous design on the front. I don't think there's going to be a clash. I had a look at it as they were warming up. I don't think we're going to have too much of a clash. I think we'll be okay. As we welcome into commentary, Pete Cross.
G'day, Dave.
How are you?
Oh, well, mate, a bit tough.
I know you did. That was the world's quickest change.
It's only half complete, but I was just bit of threes, bit of twos. So I'll let you talk for a bit while I catch my breath.
No, well, I think we might have to step out. We'll just have a welcome to country.
The first Indigenous Day. We'd like to welcome Burnside and Old Coles. A special welcome to Auntie Lynette from the Ghana people. She's going to give us a welcome to the country. And thank you for making the effort of coming out today, and thank you everyone for today.
Nina Marley, everyone. That means hello, how are you? You can say Marnie I. And that means I'm okay, so I hope you're all okay. When we come back, as a representative of the Ghana Nation people of this land, I'd like to welcome you to Ghana country. I do this by greeting you in the spirit of humanity, from my African ancestry to traditional custodians, upon whose ancestral land we are meeting today. We acknowledge the deep feelings and attachment and the relationship of Ghana people to their yurta. Yurta means the land. And I would like to also pay my respect and recognize non-Aboriginal people, boys and girls, and other important people, and all of the rugby players and their families here today that have joined us today. And I stand with, I say to you in Ghana language, Rangangani Nani Nakoti Nani Nakoti Nani Nani and what I should say was, it is my pleasure to greet you on my people's land, and I warmly welcome you to the Ghana country of the Red Kangaroo Green Law. Thank you, Natalia.
So I appreciate that was probably quite difficult to hear. She is a fair old way away from us, and that wasn't aimed at us, but that's one of the Ghana elders just doing a welcome to country. So is this the first Indigenous Day that Old Coles have done? Did I see that?
It certainly is.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I've seen too many around the grounds.
No, I don't think I have, and just a week or two or after NIDOC week. But as per usual, the man in the middle will be Snoop Jackson, Peter Snoop Jackson. He's becoming a mainstay for Spacequake Sports, but one of the better referees going around in South Australia. So this is the return fixture from round 3, where Burnside got up 31 points to 27. But that was close. They came back in the end.
It was a lot of tries in that match, not a huge amount of defence, a real try fest. So I think this will be a lot tighter, where the breaks are going to be minimised. That was that early days.
Yeah, that was a day where the back 3 for Old Collegians was on fire, and anything that Burnside did, they were in trouble. I mean, first phase tries. We talked a couple of weeks ago about first phase tries and how no coach wants to see a first phase try, and there was a couple of them from well within their own half. Just looking at this Burnside side, it's around the same. There's a couple of names. Immelman I haven't seen before, and Bankia I haven't seen those names before. I know there was a couple of fellas who came over from the scorching hot United Kingdom at the moment. Up to 45 degrees in London, believe it or not.
It's unbelievable. Yeah, it must be slowing down the transit from there to here.
I tell you, it's gone nuts in England. My Facebook is hilarious at the moment. But we are underway. Gary Mann shielding the sun from his eyes. He will take first bite of the cherry, and all Collegians will have the first go. They will go out into midfield to Blackall. As we would expect, it started, and the noise, you can hear the noise and the intensity from these two. Now they're going to try and look out wide. It's probably going to be something that we see Old Coles to do all day.
I think they've stolen.
It has been turned over.
Burnside.
Into midfield to Rahali, to Marshall. Marshall met by a blue wall. Not as much red as normal.
There's a lot of blue on blue, isn't there?
There is.
It's enough white on the shorts, I think.
I think just enough.
White, yeah.
Or he kind of gave himself up then. I think he thought he had rights to it and then gave himself up. First penalty of the day will go to Burnside.
This will be interesting whether it's a shot or keep the attack on.
Well, you know which way I'd go. The Northern Hemisphere lives stronger inside me. Yeah, I would certainly be looking at goal. And it looks like they are. They've brought Fraser Green up from the wing.
Yes, indeed.
So he's going to have a look for it, and here comes the tee. It'll give us a chance to talk about a couple of things that I saw. Well, there's a couple of things. First and foremost, the king of Tregenza Oval, Jack Campion, pulled out in the warm-up.
Did he really?
Failed a late fitness test.
Yeah, he's been pushing himself pretty hard to be back fit, but I don't think the shoulder's not quite there yet.
Yeah, so. That's what it was. He was kitted up, but I think that was just for the photo. I think he just got his photo done and then pulled the pin on it. No Alex Rockaborough starting either today. He's just got back from Fiji.
I think we'll certainly see him on the second half, getting on and making an impact, I imagine.
And also I saw Blackall in the warm-up, just injured his hand. I think it was his right hand that he was favouring, so we'll just keep an eye on that as well. But they're the sort of things that Pierre Arnold and Rob Smedley would not have wanted to see in the warm-up.
Well, it's one thing at Old Coles, there's a real crank up on our physicality of our warm-ups. There's the pros and cons of it right there. The pros, you come out quite hard. The cons, you can get a couple of niggling injuries while you're doing it.
Just push that one away, so we remain 0-0, and I'm sure every Southern Hemisphere rugby fan in Australia will be shouting, should have gone to the corner.
Until you make that mistake, and then, yeah.
If it slotted over the three, it would have been fine.
Good.
So interesting to see Jack Curtin in at 10. Be interesting to see how much time and space he gets, because we know he can be absolutely devastating with time and space, so see how he goes. Eli Yipper talking about people who are dangerous with time and space, but that's a fantastic challenge. I think it was Graham in the middle, got him.
Yeah, a real ball and all.
Rahale, flat pass out onto that far side. Ball's going to come back. Immelman. Rahale. Inside ball, sneaky suspicion of forward, and more than a sneaky suspicion.
It's that feeling out process like the first few rounds of a boxing match at the moment.
Yeah. We would much prefer it if it was like the Rocky films. We just stood at each other and swung at each other for 12 rounds. But yeah, both sides a little bit nervy. Obviously, Burnside got out of jail a little bit last week, but you had a big win last week.
Indeed, but credit to South. The scoreline didn't reflect what a tough physical game that was. Just got away at the final 15 for us.
Being Old Coal Scum split, they decide to come to this near side. Sadler draws, gives just a little bit too far in front of Busby. Gives it to Fleetwood Piper. Fleetwood Piper versus Green. Green will win that mini battle. Dawes will come back on the angle, driven backwards. All a bit messy, but they get there eventually. Sadler again to man. Talking about ball and all. Green got him, but it came forward in the tackle. I think even Fraser Green would be honest with himself and say that last time he lost more battles than he won. He'll certainly want to write that ledger today.
It was early on for Fraser on that last encounter. A couple of mistakes, I think he turned it around to get the win in the end.
Oh, he did, yeah, he did come back. Yeah,
he did come back well.
Good job he didn't get the hook.
Yeah.
So Will Sadler back in the Old Coals jersey. Flat ball, nice and out round the back to Fleetwood Piper. That was the one that we saw them score from.
Indeed, but it was well stripped right
Brighton.
there. Again, there's been two good strips.
It has been, and it's turned over again,
yep.
But I think they're going to come back for the knock-on. They are. Will Sadler, of course, the brother of Darcy Sadler and Mackenzie Sadler, who's still playing her trade in the AON7 series. And
yeah, for the Queensland team. Yeah,
playing very, very well. And of course, that leads us on to the AON7s. And it would be very remiss of me not to wish James O'Keefe a happy birthday.
Is it really?
It is, yeah.
Oh, happy birthday, the big fella.
So scrum midfield. They're looking on this far side to. Again, just missed. It's a couple who have gone astray from both.
Both sides, it's the same. Yeah, it's almost a carbon copy.
Just a little bit nervy, I think. We have talked in the past, but what is this rivalry between Old Coals and Burnside? How big is it?
Well, one of the biggest aspects is if you're around this area and you're interested in playing rugby, you've got two clubs looking to pull your attention. So we see crossovers of juniors switching clubs. When they hit seniors, or seniors then switching over from one club to the other, because they're very close to each other, unlike a lot of the other clubs around Adelaide, and that's just built a lot of rivalry in there. And I suppose it's just that local, east side rivalry. We see each other around town, down the Nord Parade, and if one's had the win, they're probably celebrating their beers a bit more than the other team, and I'll let you know about it.
I'm sure they would. So Old Coals starting to get a roll on now. Curtin looking for a little bit of space, doesn't really have it. Met by Marshall and one other, and a big loud blast offside. Certainly, do the Old Coals players stay away from the Robin Hood, or do you sneak in there? Do you sneak in there for one after a win?
We've been a few times. We must be, in some sort of silent agreement, because somehow we don't seem to run into them that much. But I know they have the, one of their sponsors and a stronghold on the place.
Yeah, it's certainly a Burnside port. That.
So funnily enough, I think, yeah, come the World Cup, we'll all probably end up down there to watch the games because they're guaranteed to be playing them.
Well, I was about to say at that point everyone's Australian, aren't they? But no, I mean, Blair Marshall is an All Black all through and through, and I will be supporting the men in white. There's a whole vast array of nations in South Australian rugby.
Oh, certainly.
So Will Sadler's going to kick a goal. Very good kick for goal.
He's got good distance, one of the big things. Distance won't be a trouble at all. And it's just getting the radar in.
It's a good start.
Very good.
And the flags will go up. That's what you want. You want your first one to go, don't you?
You do indeed. Yeah, I thought actually Old Coles might go for the corner. So.
Well, I mean, that's 3-0. What are we? Nearly 10 minutes, and that's the only score on the board. I think this one's going to be a tight one, and they can be. You look at these games between Burnside and Old Coles. A lot of the time that they're decided on one play, so nobody really wants to make a mistake.
Very good kick-off.
Let bounce, but it's worked for Old Coles. Lost, but it went backwards and on the blind side as well, so that's okay.
Blackall, they got away with one there.
Yeah, Blackall will get going on the hoof, and it will go out to Curtin. Flat ball. Then it will go out to McDonough. McDonough, what can he do? He's dealt with over on that far side. Now they're going to look to come back. They do like to go from one side of the field to the other, try and tire out the defences that they're playing against. Into Blackall again. He'll just straighten up. Nice little ball out the back. Then doors to Fleetwood Piper. One-on-one. Green deals with him again. It's going to be a battle I look forward to watching all day, that one.
Yes, indeed. But the phase play here is very good. It's building up nicely for Old Coles.
Man into midfield again. Now they will look to the left wing, having been on the right wing one phase earlier. Just lost, but McDonough will tidy it up. Sadler again. All a bit congested, but they managed to sort it out and find some space in midfield. Throws it dummy. Now the big fella's just going to go with the big fella sidestep. Now can they get numbers there? Yes, they can. Graham will go. Lost forward.
I think it was. Yes, indeed. What a wonderful show and go.
Oh, skills from the big fella. Look at that.
There it is.
And then he went with the forward sidestep. That's how short he was, and then oh, I tell you what, we'd have to slow that down. That's one of the ones you would slow down and have a look at.
Could be a microsecond of try there before it spilled out.
All he needs is a little bit of downward pressure. We had to look at it a couple of times and in slow motion, so it is no criticism of the referee.
Here we go.
Oh, I tell you, it's a tough one. I tell you what, though, from Immelman, that's a fantastic tackle.
Yeah, a couple of arms coming in all at the same time to try and disrupt that, so very good try line defence.
Because there's a lot of time you'll see the old number 9 just fail at that one with the big fella running at you. Myself included.
Except the tribe.
Yeah.
Point the finger at the earlier break.
What could I do?
Yeah.
So Burnside, in the shadow of their own posts, will look to run away. Marshall gets away from the first one and the second one. Finally dragged down, but manages to get the ball away, and Immelman will lose that one forward. All getting a bit scrappy now. Curtin sends it out into midfield.
Doing the fancy footwork.
Sadler again. Curtin again. Flat ball.
Well, and forward, I think. Yep.
There's no love. Talking about players going from club to club.
That is the prime example right there.
And he did it as a senior, having played a couple of years at Burnside. So it's a couple of years now, though. It's about 3 years now. But you can see from the reaction of Blair Marshall that it's not forgotten.
Oh, absolutely.
I think he gets reminded of it. Let's have another look at this one. So Rahali's got hands on, Green's got hands on.
And then a slipping arm, that slipping hand. The slipping hand gives it no real moment of try, but they'd watch that 1,000 times in an international game.
Do you know what? I think if you're wearing blue and red, that's a try. If you're wearing double blue, it's a knock-on. I think that's the margin of it. Almost picked up off the shoelaces. Fleetwood Piper will beat the first one. Manages to shake away and get some good extra yards as well. Now Old Coles are on the front foot. Rahale had a swing at it. Did probably just enough. Sadler is on the bottom of it. Big whistle, something's going on, a penalty.
Hands in the ruck, real desperation there from Burnside, just struggling to get out of their 22 at the moment.
Just trying to keep an eye on Will Sadler at that point as well, because he looked like he took a couple of knocks in that one, but he's going to be okay, and we'll kick it into the corner. All starting to get a little bit breathless. Almost a wonderful pickup off the bootlaces from Fraser Green.
Well, it's been a couple of both sides now. The passes to that final pass has just been a bit loose, and they're on. The passes are on for a try. A lot of time or a good clean break, and it's just been coming down around the toes.
Graham brought ground very, very hard just to prevent it. Oh, the short ball. Very, very nearly got through. Now they can go quickly. Curtin kind of backs up Busby. Can he get his hands free? No, he gets himself free. And Busby will go over. And the first try of the game will go to the men from Tregenza Oval.
A real case there for Burnside of choosing an option to try and run it out for a couple of phases, and by almost misfortune of making a few breaks, they've gone for those extra offloads and have been punished for it now.
It's a wonderfully straight line from...
Set it up perfectly.
Burgess? Is it
Burgess,
it's not Pete Cross? Definitely not Pete Cross.
That is my cousin.
Yeah, and then just elusive running from Busby at the back. You can see the mistake though. You do look very similar from this distance.
We do indeed. He's just got a bit, quite a few extra kgs on me.
So you said that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying
Look,
that.
in a positive way. He's, I was running around in third grade. He's up here in the one. So
yeah,
they're working for him.
It's a good finish from Busby, and they run you from side to side, old Collegians, and Burnside just need to take control of that.
Well, it's one for Old Coles. Historically, we haven't been the biggest forward pack, so it's really trying to play a high stamina game and see if the other team can keep up. And on that stage there's good quick phase play off one straightening run from Burgess, and nice try in the corner.
So 8-0 with the kick to come on the Wojtek scoreboard. That one is on its way. Looks good off the boot, and the flags go up. Congratulations, Will Sadler. I tell you what, that's about as good a kick as I've seen.
Yeah, was it right on the sideline?
I think it was, and it was, came off the ground and everything with his follow through. There's a good line from Burgess, and then once you get behind, if you get good quick delivery from the back, which we got from Sadler, then Burnside are in trouble. That's a wonderful restart. That's just going to drop in exactly the right place.
Well taken.
There's a knock on, and they'll have the advantage. It's about as good a kickoff as you could ask for.
High in the sunlight.
Devlin. Enter Rahali, has Walton on his inside, doesn't want him, manages to get the hands free, sends it out. Eliippa manages to evade the first tackle, then we'll give it away, out onto that far side, and again, that last pass doesn't go where it needs to go.
The speed they move it through off this nice offload, real good quick passing to get it out there, and just really need to consolidate, be happy with the 10-15 metres they made there and set up for the next phase.
It's really interesting that you said, you talked about missed tackles. There's one missed tackle there, and there was a missed tackle on the try. That's the fine margins that we're playing with today.
Absolutely. And then I think off those few opportunities that are given, and that's probably what's leading to those extra pushing of passes, trying to make something of it once that break's made.
I think one of the hardest things for coaches is to try and convince players that they don't have to score every time they touch the ball.
It's hard for a back.
Yes. Curtin.
Burgess, good straight run again.
Again, beats the first tackle. That's massively important from your 12. Curtin will then pull it out the back to Busby. Busby will put it on the boot. I think he's got too much on that. Yep. Yes, he has.
Pass back inside, mate.
So yeah, the argument was he inside his 22? He was. Did the ball come back from outside the 22? I think it did. I think certainly Burjo got outside the 22, and then it came back in.
It came back in. Yeah, there was the exit play, just not well executed.
So Burnside will look to start their driving more. We've seen it before from Burnside, and that is getting going. And they've managed to turn Old Coles around. Old Coles I would. Jeez, I was going to say they'll do very well to come out of anything.
Truck and trailers called here.
And that's what they've got.
Not sure if it's well done on Coles or a bit of luck on the spin of this, not being able to bring it back to the back of the maul and change its direction.
Yeah, that's it's
right
a tough one though. I don't know enough about the laws for mauls, but I think if the defending side peels away,
there's a peel
you're
away.
entitled to keep
the
going
ball carrier's really got to shoot through and take that opportunity. If there's just the two.
I think it was because Freddie Samuel detached and left and went forward.
And then there was just two players left. And
yeah, I think if you see, he almost goes like a lead blocker, and that's where he
came.
If he'd stayed attached and the maul just kept going, he would have been all right.
8, 2, 3, 7.
Oh, there's a line-up call for you. Looks like they're going to go to the back to man.
Too long.
Just over the top. Looked wonderful from our position, but not good. And they will go into midfield. Rahale will step in. To Marshall. Marshall bounces the first one.
Very good bump that. And they've got numbers here.
Yeah, there's a player down in midfield and a player looking after him. It's two Burnside players, I think, in midfield. Rahale again, carries, looks to try and slip it around the back, just didn't get what he wanted. Little pick and drive, more patient from Burnside. Rahale struggling with his ankle as well, so
two injuries
that's two. I don't know who the far one is, but Rahale really struggling to get up.
It's a couple of times there for the 10, Rahale. Not seeing any runners, real options, and forced into the contact when it looks like he's trying to find someone to hit it on, to run off his shoulder.
Yeah, and
getting smothered.
And I think as both of us have played that number 10 position, I think at times like that, when you're not getting those runners, you can't take yourself and lose the ball and die with possession. Just ship it. Give it to somebody else, even if
move the problem along.
Even if they're flat-footed, let them do the hard yards.
That's what a 12 is for, isn't it?
That's exactly what a 12 is for.
Yeah.
Is that Devlin? No, I don't think it is Devlin. I don't recognise that young man.
That's a check of his neck here.
Yeah, he didn't move, and there was a Burnside player who spent a little bit of time with him as well, just to make sure he was okay.
Rahale shaking out his ankle.
Yeah, I think the point is, and I don't want to sound craven in any way, shape, or form, but Rahale can't run the game if he's on the bottom of a pile.
No.
So stop yourself ending up in those positions. Find somebody to offload to, and then go and direct traffic.
The Irish Johnny Sexton, he'll do whatever it takes to offload to get it out of there, so he can stay as captain and running the ship. So if he has contact, he'll find a way of getting himself out. So I doesn't see the bottom of many rucks.
Yeah, so I think that's Backham who had the neck issue. He's okay, we'll keep an eye on him.
Burnside's stacking this left-hand side here.
Well, Rahale still struggling, I think, on that ankle. So it doesn't look like they're going to run 8, 9, 15 because Eliippa is all the way over here. So it looks like they're just going to try and run down a short angle.
There it is.
There they go. There's the 8. The 9 is nowhere to be seen.
Slightly
That's
isolated.
A good counter ruck, really good counter ruck. Can't do that. Can't be that isolated. Now all Coles can go. Man.
Great contact on man.
Really good contact. He is a dangerous runner.
A quick ball here.
Curtin will decide to push it back into that corner. How's the bounce for him? The bounce is about as good as it gets. Again, if he could have walked down there and placed it into touch, it's around about there that he would have done it.
There you would have put it. So this and then just one player over the top here.
Yeah, just.
And lovely, I think that's Andrew Burgess, my cousin, putting in a good clean out.
We'll just call him Pete Cross from now on. There we go.
As little fellas running around, we were very similar. He spent a little longer in the gym and building himself up than I did, I think.
Interesting one. Old Coles tried the old "we're not competing them all."
Oh, there he goes again. What was that one for, Dave?
Offside again. he's very, very hot on the offside line, Mr. Jackson. There was a number of them last week.
It's actually, I really like it to be early on that, hot on that. It really starts to then open up the game late in the second half, keeping players honest. So if it's marginal, call it, and then you get to a point. It's a bit like the high tackle system now, of being really hot on it. You ping a few early, and then the game really flows with good shots on shorts.
Well, I mean, it's almost like the AFL, where they said, well, you can't go onto the oval until the other player is off, and they were still getting it wrong, so they just moved the line about a metre back.
Is that the case?
So, do the same thing. I mean, I think as a captain and as a defensive line, you take half a step backwards from that offside line, you're fine. That's a nice little handoff, and he's managed to make some extra yards.
Very
That's another
yards,
green over on that far side. Immelman, though, then send it into midfield. Flat ball to Marshall. Always happy to put his hands up. Immelman again, this time to Rahali. Now he will go flat ball to Green. Green gets man and ball. That man is Gary Man. Literally man and ball.
I like that pun there.
I didn't do it on purpose, but next time I will.
Yeah. But very good here from Burnside, from 22 now to a penalty just at the 40 here. They've extremely quickly have got themselves out of trouble.
So Rahali will look to push them towards the Old Coals, and if he gets them close enough, we've already seen how devastating that driving maul is.
He's probably hoping for a bit more into the corner.
Yeah. There's no real wind to speak of today.
Very light, just
nothing major. Unfortunately, he's got two kickers in the commentary box. We'll criticise everything they do. So Chris Walton will hit Marshall at the back, and they will get going. Here. Can they get it going forward? Again, they've managed to just roll old Collegians around the side, but it looks like it's gone again. Messy. Yeah. Out into midfield. Bartlett will get there. Looked a little bit high, but all's fair in love and war. Rahali puts it on the boot.
That's a good option.
Now it's a foot race. Eliippa looks good for it, but Fleetwood Piper managed to come back. There's a whistle, big loud whistle. I thought it sounds like a penalty whistle. So I think
must be for that long of an advantage.
Yeah, and that's obviously something sloppy happened in that maul, and that's the reason that the ball came out like it did. Can't really see a signal. Not a bad option from Rahali.
It's very good, actually. The Old Coals have been racing up very fast, and this will just make them have a second think about it from now on, I think. Turn the backs around. Always enjoy it as 10, just rolling a little one through.
So now they go to 4. Did very, very well to bring it down and start to build that maul again. But Old Coals have done very, very well again defensively. I mean, I'm assuming that's something they will have looked at during the week and know that that's a threat that's going to come from Burnside. Immelman. Flat ball. This time he got Bartlett and ball. But it has come back their way, and that's what they want. But big, loud blast of the whistle again. I think there's
maybe a look for the pocket here.
He certainly stopped his watch.
Stopped his watch, checked that he had something in there.
He's going to have a chat. Yeah, the zip has come down.
He's having a look, yes, I think there's some cheddar.
Yeah, first one of the day, and do you know what? It's...
Oh, no.
Now he's Andrew Burgess.
There goes, yeah, that's right.
Now he's definitely
Burgess.
Burgess.
My cousin, I have to have a chat to him at the family dinner.
Hey, I mean, look, Burnside were on a roll, Old Coals were under a lot of pressure, professional foul.
That is the time to do it.
Yeah, he was going to do well. Yeah. He was going to do well to stay on for that. Now, with a mismatch in the backs, they've gone for the scrum.
It's good, and I'd imagine they'll look to do similar if they're going to stack this left-hand side.
Well, Eliippa's stayed out over that far side now. Well, they've just swapped the winger, so they're still really stacked. I think they're going to try and get Eliippa one-on-one.
Yeah, I think it's going right. And Liam out there is McDonough's going to have some work to do.
Well, he loves his contact work.
I know.
Looks like it's coming this way, which it does. Rahali, flat ball. Ooh, around the corner, kind of didn't look, and there was a welcoming committee waiting for him. Again, they're going to go. Is that the same? No, that's It's the other centre now. Nice little offload out of the tackle. Nice spread on either side. They'll go out the back.
Bit of a juggle. And
Eliyapa gets it flat-footed, but manages to get some go forward.
And a turnover.
Yeah, just pushed it again. He's just pushing that
Did
last
indeed.
pass.
Yep.
That one is okay.
Good defence there from Old Coles, but like you put it, just pushing those passes from Burnside. I think they're a couple of phases away from really being able to finish them off, but getting too excited off a little break there to try and get points early.
Well, we are approaching the half hour on the Wojtek scoreboard. This time Burnside go off the top. It's, ooh, I tell you.
Disadvantage, yeah, it could have been.
Yeah, there is suggestions that that might be deliberate because there's no tackle in that. No, he's just given the knock on.
Yeah,
I think he's a lucky boy on that one.
I thought penalty for sure.
I mean, was it the start of this year or the start of last year? They really pushed down on the deliberate knock on, and that would have been a yellow card at the beginning of last year.
Yeah, they did that, and then if it's a strip, looking at it not being a knock on, it's a strip. That was the two real.
Yeah, it was allowed to go forward from a strip.
Yeah, that you had knocked it on if it was a clear strip.
Yeah.
Down to the ground.
But that one, I mean, he was in.
He
was in
help himself.
no man's land.
No man's land. Yep.
And it's gone straight down. Certainly, there'll be some comments during the week.
Indeed.
I love rugby law comments. That's a good ball, and Jep can go.
Oh,
has one on one. He had and Fraser Green out here.
There, sitting for it, but they might finish it here anyway.
He'll be silently cursing. Devlin on the inside ball. Good challenge from Busby. Immelman out to Rahali. Rahali does just ship it this time. We'll find Marshall in midfield. They've got numbers right if they can get going. Get going they do. Rahali holds it. Looks to run around the outside himself. Penalty. Offside again.
Offside, and I assume no advantage because you ran behind his player.
Yeah, he definitely. There was definitely crossing.
Missed opportunity on that beautiful clean break.
I think those are the ones that Fraser Green would have just been cursing under his breath.
Oh, he was about to jog it in if he got that. Having a chat to each other now. Just
again, it's an interesting choice from Rahali. It's almost like he wanted to put it there. He's almost put it out behind where he took the penalty.
Well, let's see. Fourth time's a charm. Is this?
No, well, Coles have done well again and stopped the forward momentum at least. Now it gets going again.
Yeah, that's good pace to that.
And it's at the back. We can see it at the back. This could be danger for Old Collegians. There they go, down. Waiting for a signal. There is the signal. And you were right. Fourth time was an absolute charm for them. Who's going to come up with it? Chris Walton.
Very good commitment to something obviously they've been working hard on the training field, and a couple of shaky first three, but that was, once it got momentum, that was screaming backwards.
Well, I thought Old Collegians had done enough initially, but then once it got going forward, yeah, we could see it. I think it's one of the hardest things to defend in rugby, that driving maul.
100%. You look at the 2 years in a row, the Brumbies in the Super Rugby, it's just been the linchpin of their game. And no one really, if it's so good and it's so compact, it's hard to defend because it keeps changing as well and shifting who's got the ball, so the direction slightly shifts. You send the angle in just onto a front player's different shoulder and you suddenly find a bit more momentum, and then, yeah, what do you do when it's really close to the line? You run in sideways and give a penalty try?
Yeah, penalty, yeah. I mean, that it really comes into his own when you're in that 22. I don't know whether we've got the actual lineup, but one thing I noticed on the last one is just how quick they go from above their head to down and in a
Yep.
Would be something they do a lot of work on.
Did Old Coles contest that last one?
I don't think they did, and they waited for them. And like I said, initially they were okay.
I think they were hoping the ball had been released from the maul, but
the Green sends it on its way.
Very
Flags
good.
go up. Oh, it's in an absolute kicking clinic today.
Great response, very close to half-time.
Well, here we go. Here is the lineup. Just watch how quick
Old Coles went
they
up
get
for
it and down.
And,
But just there, you think they've done enough? and then it just splinters. And then as you're running back around that outside and having to sort of J-line back into it,
You've got no
trying
power.
to find out where it is as well.
Yeah.
Where can I hit this thing?
And what difference will it make? That's a very good kickoff.
And it's worked again. The contestables today have been absolutely fantastic. Liam McDonough, definitely Liam McDonough. Curtin will step back inside and get the second one. Curtin now gets a little bit of space.
Won't be
and
caught.
he will go over.
Wow. What a strike back.
I asked the question early on, will he get time and space from that number 10 position? Question asked, question answered.
You just can't give him anything at all. It's that straight hard jink to begin it all. And then he has so much gas to burn. That 2 of them, yep.
Well, he actually, that second step got about 3 of them if you look at that angle again. 3 of them were looking to go outside. The first one broke Rahali's ankles, which was weak already from the injury before. And then the second step, I think you think...
Watch this. There it is. Oh,
and then that second one, there's 3 of them.
3 of them, yep.
All in a line behind who just, yeah, too good. That's that touch rugby thing.
It is, and sevens, a lot of sevens. He's come from Curtin, so he's made me look, and a few of the guys, silly on the training field many a time.
So Sadler will look to add on the extras. He's got a harder one than this one. So
yeah, with Curtin's pace, he probably could have got around a bit more under the post for him.
Yeah. Well, you got a kicker as good as him. You got to challenge him, haven't you? Flags are absolutely flat as well. It's about as good as it gets. That one's on the way.
It's a good strike. Wow.
Great strike.
Very
sounded
good.
Really nice off the foot.
That's just down in the car park, that is, I think. Wonderful contact.
Don't bother looking. He's the one in the middle.
Exactly.
Save your legs.
Send the ball boys with the bus ticket to go get that one, I think.
Justin in the line.
It's a really interesting kicking technique. Oh, is that Marshall? Is Blair Marshall restarting? Good challenge on man, Devlin.
Loose ball here, recovered.
It's almost too good for Old Collegians. They want broken field rugby. McDonough. Oh, charge down. It's going to turn out okay. Busby will tidy it up. Beats a couple. And then beats a couple more. And again, broken field rugby. If they can get outside, they'll be okay. Curtin. Out to McDonough.
Interesting option there.
The pass almost forced him into touch.
Yep, it did. Some of it is the one with Old Coles of so much attack. Sometimes it's just that need to play a bit safer. When you're in your 22 now, we know what's going to happen right here. We know what's happening here.
Now they have left him, but Blackall has gone in. They did leave him for a little bit. So
check of the watch. Could go in the pocket here again.
Someone? I mean, saw what Old Collegians wanted to do, and it's a real tough one. If we have a replay of this one, we saw they didn't commit initially, and then I think it's Blackall decides that it's too tempting.
Isn't it just?
I've got to do something. So
this
if
will
we
be
see
good
now,
to watch. Yes, the don't commit,
there, and then oh no, there's one who's already gone. The number 5.
About 10 years ago, Old Coles had very good driving maul, and we played Brighton, and they would stay off it, and it was extremely frustrating.
Well, that did rumble on. That was last year at Brighton, where Callum Walton scored the try, and that rumbled on for a while. The discussion around that one, because Brighton just let him go.
Yes.
And as long as he doesn't let it go, he's fine.
So loose line out on this one. It's been stolen and a clearance, slightly wobbly, but it's got them a little bit out of trouble.
Well, I mean, is the driving maul good enough to go 18 metres? Possibly, if they get it going.
Possibly, but I do know from talking to forwards, actually being in attack and doing a long range driving maul does wear you out with the ball. But
Well, they're going to start it at the
committing
very
to it.
least. And there they get to go again. Dawes is in the middle, manages to slow down the momentum somewhat. Now they'll roll off it. Into midfield, pulled out the back. Now they will go to Eliippa. Eliippa will go in and out. Nice
good.
little dummy. Gary Mann does well, coming across the back, making the covering tackle. Immelman again. Oh,
Great
Fleetwood
contact.
Piper. That is some huge contact. Immelman again. Looks into midfield. I think that's Harrison who's replaced Rahale, possibly.
Space out here.
There is, if they can get it. Probably needed hands rather
held
than
that.
Yeah,
he's lost that. I think
probably
that could just hands. Yes,
yeah,
indeed, Dave. Yeah.
Hands probably would have worked
There
there.
was possibly a 4-on-2, 3-on-2 out there.
Again, I'm just a commentator. If I could actually coach rugby, I would be coaching. But
no, it's those simple things. You know, sometimes if you're flat on the try line, that long range one to the winger can work. But otherwise, it's actually quite easy to just drift across and defend sometimes.
there was no. And again, the miss would work if you've got some movement from the other
The
players.
inside players angling in.
They have to do something.
And then the winger going flat chat onto it. Yeah.
But there was nothing. That needed to go hands. The other thing is as well, I just want to see a little bit quicker service from Immelman. It's the difference between Old Coles and Burnside at the moment. Sadler is, as soon as he gets there, it's gone.
Here's that exit play coming from Old Coles.
Good strong run again from Burgess. This time Curtin looks for a gap, doesn't quite make it. Picked it up himself though. Look.
Interesting. Oh, okay.
Not releasing, he said. Well,
done by there. Oh, some back talk here. That hurts.
He probably said, well, I did release it. Oh, it's reversed.
Not out, not out.
No, it was first Old
Oh,
Coles.
it was an Old Coles anyway. It's not a bad leg as well. Brings them up to around halfway. Yeah, that is Andrew Harrison in at 10. So Rahale's day may well be done. Collegians wandering quite slowly up to the lineup, not allowing Burnside to try and identify. They'll go to Mokomoko, didn't look straight. Walton will pick. Walton is all alone. Has to go.
Support's got there. It is a bit slow off the base, isn't it?
Just a little bit quicker, I think, from Immelman. There's been occasions where they've had the line out and he just wants to make sure. Nice offload. This is the time it's got to go. Harrison has an inside option, gives it to Marshall. Marshall couldn't get away. Harrison on the support line. Looked one way, then he decided to go. Walton to Harrison. Marshall, man and ball.
Man and ball. Well, this is building nicely for Burnside.
It is. It's better phase play.
Up to about 8, I think.
This is the point that they generally get impatient and try and push
there
something.
It is. You called it. Oh my goodness, you've called it again. Yes. Had a good 8-9 phases there.
Yeah, and then it's almost as if they feel like they can run out of phases. Oh, we've got to do something now. So we are in red time, 10 points of difference, 17 points to 7. It's not like the score is flattering them, but it feels a lot closer than a 10-point difference.
Yeah, it was just that really quick fire strike back off the try just then for Curtin, the last one, that just kept them just the noses in front. But this is a very close game.
So a scrum just outside their 22. Most teams you would say that, you know, this wouldn't be a scoring threat, but this is Old Collegians.
And there goes a wide opportunity straight away. And
Buzz beats to McDonough to Fleetwood Piper. Fleetwood Piper, has he got the pace to beat the first one? Yes, he does. Dragged down from behind.
through.
Everyone's happy with it.
Hasn't gone over, so I think this will be a good result for Old Coles.
I think it might be a very, very good result for Burnside, because I think that could be close to half time. There we go.
Here indeed.
That is half time, so it is 10 points the difference, 17 points to 7. Old Coles leading this one and playing well, but that Burnside pack is starting to put its stamp on it, and I think if they just pump the brakes in the backs a little bit, they certainly will see Burnside come back in this second half.
I agree, just building those phases, if they can get them right up in the double digits. The forward pack is looking very strong for Burnside, but they've got to stay on their toes in defence, because the intention for Old Coles is to have a go wide, as we just saw then, to finish the half. Good half.
So we will step away for a short break. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you soon for the second half. So welcome back. Oh, aerial pictures supplied by Wojtek again. That's geez, that looks good.
Wonderful, it sure does, doesn't
I think if you looked left a bit, not these aren't live, Peter. I'd love it if they were live. They're not live, but I think if you look to the left, you'd be able to see Burnside. Probably.
That would be a good shot, wouldn't it?
Yeah, you'd probably be able to see Burnside if you just looked a little bit left from there. But this is second half. Old Coles will have the sun at their back.
Yes, up into the sun here.
So you would assume then that Old Coles won the toss. Decided to go with this because that's just going to keep dropping lower.
Yep.
Dawes will make a challenge.
Yeah, the defence is good coming out. This is a good start to this half.
Then they will go into midfield out there. Bartlett will just do okay. Walton saying he was held first, and Mr. Jackson agrees. Borderline, but it's been given. Right smile from Chris Walton as he walks back. It's a man who tries to retire from first grade rugby every year.
Look, if you can still do it, why not?
Didn't go. Fleetwood Piper sends it into Busby. Busby will look over to this near side to Sadler. Sadler steps back inside. Not held in the tackle, so goes again. Curtin will step into halfback and then look to move around. Mokomoko with a big step, 2 goose steps, and then manages to get away. Walton will manage to bring him down. There's been a change for Burnside. We can see the familiar face of Nigel Lamsam.
Great ball there.
Great hands. Bartlett has McDonough outside and just too far. If McDonough hadn't cut his fingernails this morning, he would have reeled that one in.
Yeah, it was a great opportunity made. Just I think needed a little bit of straightening from Chris Chips Bartlett, just to give a bit more space, and then just floated it out in front. So, but that's a cracking start to this half.
It is. They have started like they mean business. But Lamsam has come on. He's come onto the flank. Certainly a man who loves the broadcast. I think he scored the winning try. And it would be the winning try on a number of occasions as Nigel Lamsam.
And we'll find the camera afterwards.
Yes. Good look at this scrum from our position. Solid from both sides. Hamilton will send it out the back to Eliepa, and then further on to Fraser Green, who'll take on Fleetwood Piper, then just throw it over the shoulder to Eliepa. Now it's a foot race. Can he turn Busby around? How's the bounce for Busby? It's still bobbling around. Harrison, too strong.
Is that a 22 or a 5?
It was kicked out the back by Harrison, so I think it's a 22. And we'll come back.
Wonderful.
That's Campese-esque.
That was, wasn't it? It's the little voice on the shoulder.
And then it just bobbled around horribly for Busby. And then
yes, it was.
Just one too many Weetabix for Andrew Hamilton this morning. And we'll take a breath and calm down a little bit. It was almost role reversal with Old Coles putting some phase plays together and then Burnside hitting them hard and early.
Short one.
Walton just couldn't bring it in, and it has been regathered by Old Collegians, but knocked on. Tough one, relying on his assistant referee, Paul Ridley.
Call there.
So it's our usual Space Quake Sports officiating team with Mr. Jackson in the middle and Paul and Ben Ridley on the sidelines. Father and son assistant referee team.
Are they just? Okay.
Yep, that's his...
Different hairstyles, aren't they, going on?
Yeah, I think he's had a haircut as Ben. He used to have a ponytail. I think he's had his haircut this year. So the first one we're going to see to stand up again. Again, I sometimes go quiet when I'm watching the scrims because while I've never been a front rower, I'm absolutely intrigued by the behaviour of props.
It's all the dark arts that are there.
It certainly is dark arts. So we're seeing Dawes on this near side going to work. Wonderful body position from him. Burnside have got it though.
It's a good platform here to work off.
Hamilton. Oh, dropped it
Just
inside to
confused.
Jeff, and
Real confusion that.
just needs to be absolutely perfect with them, and it wasn't, and Old Coles have turned it over. Good yardage after contact as well. And then Curtin will turn Fraser Green around. Bounce was kind to him though. He will just send it into the gathered Burnside crowd. The cheers go up for the youngster. Caught it on the full. That is the Burnside faithful over there. Not a massive journey for them.
No, it's not at all a massive jersey. No.
Graham off the top, big red. Curtin. Flat ball.
Burgess straight running.
I have to get him some orange boots. Curtin, flat ball again. Busby steps back inside, offloads to Curtin. Curtin will find a little bit of room. Get it out to McDonough. Then McDonough will run away. McDonough can run around the back, will make the kick very, very easy. That's how you finish as well. Big smile on his face.
A wonderful interchange from Curtin and Busby then.
We probably get to see it. Busby step back inside, but that acceleration from standstill from Curtin is what makes that, and we've seen it. The only other player I've seen with that ability is Joe from Brighton.
Yep, from a complete stop to then go right into top 10 range of pace for SA Rugby.
Let's see whether he gets Debbie with it.
From standing still.
He got her. Yep. Sorry, Debbie. Debbie is our camera operator away to the left. And he managed to get her as well. And then McDonough with the... that's okay. That's a 8.8, I think, for that one.
For that dive?
For the dive, an 8.8.
There's your score high.
It's knees. As long as your knees don't hit,
yes,
as long as your knees don't hit the floor first, you're okay.
That's right, yeah.
There he goes. Just that little breathe, and he forces the winger to come in and gives McDonough the time and space. I think I would have liked to see it in one motion rather than the little stop that he has before.
Yeah, it's a little stop and prop.
That's you know, that's what pushes it up to perfection. I think you just want to see that momentum. But massive penalty points if your knees hit the floor first.
No, just don't do it.
And while we were messing around with that, the conversion was good. So 24 points to 7.
Oh, Benny Blackall here.
So Old Cole's really starting to put the foot on the throat of Burnside, and again, he'll beat the first challenge. Sadler. Busby floated across the top to McDonough. McDonough will beat one. Can he beat the 2 and 3? No, yes he can. He wasn't held. Gets to go again. Looked for an offload, wasn't there. Sadler there quickly.
Very quick ball.
There's lots of lazy runners in midfield for Graham. Have a look to the right. He's got nobody. Has to go himself. So does go himself into the 22. Has it stolen?
Been a strip there.
Lost, and then Green will just put it anywhere. Breathless rugby. There's a moment where Graham looks to his right and goes, hang on.
Oh, I think it's Benny Blackall, but
there's
a bit
no
wild
one there.
back. No. The ball came too fast before anything had been set up for Old Coles.
So, do Old Coles have a driving maul in their arsenal? Oh, it's stolen.
We won't get to find out yet.
Hamilton. Are they going to go from here?
Playing out of their
They are. Oh, nearly an intercept.
Very lucky.
Jeez.
Interesting from Burnside in this option to as well try and attack off their try line. Just been under so much pressure, you would think just clear it out.
Just trying to loop that one over, and I think, if that had stuck, just could have fallen over.
Charge down on the pass.
So it'll be a Burnside scrum right underneath their posts. Hamilton has come to this near side. Just trying to see who's gone. Oh, there's no one really. Oh, there is, just behind.
Yeah, I assume Hamilton for the kick here, but that's a good shove
That's
from Old Coles.
That's a great scrum from Old Coles, and they've... Again, I think another second and they would have been all right, but he was just going to reset the scrum. They'll want to pack down and do it again. Just a reset though. Can they do it the second time? So Immelman's put the ball in. Better from Burnside, and they go quickly. Marshall with a little show and go. Manages to just give them a little bit of room. Can't really see anyone sat in the pocket again.
No, again, exactly. I'm waiting for it. Where's the clearance? Surely this phase here should be a clearance.
No, they're going.
No,
Oh, going and going hard.
it's very good yards, but still within their 22 here.
Oh, and there's the counter ruck. Counter ruck, stroke half-back tackle, and then that looks like entry. Chris Walton will go.
Quick tap.
Beats the first challenge of Bartlett. Graham almost did very well. Talking about beating the clean out, that was certainly a clean out, and he nearly beat it. Stood up. Burnside are just edging away. Lamsam. He will lose it.
Carry.
And then man, it's not
And
man,
Fraser,
then they will go. Murrison will go, and then Burgess just pushing it again.
The first loose carry from Nigel. Usually very safe, but again, trying the attempt to work their way out of their own half.
So just having a look at the messages. Good afternoon to Sean Riley. He always says hello to me, and I never say hello back. So hello, Sean Riley. Thank you for watching. Just having a look at some of the messages that have come in. Isaiah saying that's the least amount of mud I've seen at that ground ever, and I have to kind of agree with him, especially over the weather we've had.
No,
it's held up. It's holding up very, very well this year.
We're a couple of years now of not having any cricket here.
No cricket
in summer, and that's been the huge difference.
It's always soft though.
So, used to be a nightmare there in the middle. Man with the pickup.
Didn't quite shake his way out of the tackle, and now they're going to look to rebuild. Slower and patient, but Sadler just wasn't there. So it's the ability. Oh, that's just pickpocket by Marshall. Marshall will then look to go away.
Such a clean rip that was.
Clean out comes. Immelman sends it into midfield. Immelman again, out to Harrison. Did well to turn a loss into a gain. Now they've got numbers, possibly, if they can go again, man and ball for Walton. I think he's used to that though.
Yep.
They're going to tell him he has to leave the halfback alone. I think they're just going to settle down and look for the corner.
Yeah, double penalties here, so it has paid off here to march their way downfield with absolute control of possession.
Callum Walton is also is also watching for New Zealand. He says Burnside need to kick when they're in their own 22.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah, it's
we've certainly been saying that.
Let's go! Come on, run!
Certainly playing with fire when you're running it out of your own try line.
They managed, although they've got away with it. I mean, only just got away with it.
It is sapping of energy though. They've had
It's a long way to go, isn't it?
a lot of phases to get to here.
Look to the middle, off the top.
Very nice.
Flat ball into midfield, then pulled out the back. Out to Walton again. He took it kind of flat-footed. Had to do a lot of the work himself, but gets there. Immelman again. Now they will look to that far side. Shakes the first one. Gets away. Good covering tackle from Sadler.
Offload.
Good offload to Green. Counter ruck is brilliant from Fleetwood Piper.
I think he's been caught for it though. In the side to begin
entry.
with, yeah.
Fraser Green wanted to go. Not entirely sure what was. So many people lying on the floor, maybe?
Snoop's having a bit of a rest.
Right.
There's a limit to those quick taps for a referee. You know.
I'm quite pleased with it myself, to be honest. So there has been some changes. Metcalf has come onto the wing, so where one of the Greens has gone. Again, they're in driving maul territory, but they've shortened the line out. And it's
A hand.
Graham got hands on. There goes Lamsam. What?
Ooh, that's high.
That is a high one. That's Fleetwood Piper and a penalty try. Little bit of afters.
A little bit of afters, I'll be.
I think that's just the impetuousness of youth from young Mr. Immelman. If he knew Kyle Fleetwood Piper, he knew there was absolutely nothing malicious in it. It was a lazy one.
It was on Fleetwood Piper, was it?
I think it was Kyle.
No,
And
he has gone for the pocket.
Has he gone
Yes,
Fleetwood
he has
Piper?
indeed,
Yeah,
yep.
Fleetwood Piper is the one who's going off.
Oh.
And he did go for penalty try, so that's just 7 points, straight 7 points. I saw him run off. You'll see him run off. It's just a lazy one from Fleetwood Piper, and you'll see him. He's just running to under the post, and then there's just a little bit of afters. Nothing major. I don't think there's any swings or anything. Just a little bit of patter cake. Some jersey grabbing. Nothing major.
The poor defence from Old Coles here. The gaping hole there at the at that post position, and
yeah. So it's
maybe unlucky with a penalty try, but I guess the law is there. You remove the player.
Yeah, there was a player coming around. Again,
yeah.
We can look at it in slow motion. We can look at it a million times. Mr. Jackson's made the decision, so just 7 points, so 14 points to 24. Nobody's given anyone the conversion.
No, unrequired.
Yeah, so it's just the straight 14, but...
Yep. We know, Dave.
Yeah. Does the kicker get it? Does the kicker get given the conversion?
I don't believe they do. It's an excellent question, yes.
Terrible.
Let's let them stand in front and throw it over, hey?
No,
Show the stats.
Marshall.
Big dummy, and it's worked out.
Oh, it has worked out. No one's really moving at the bottom of that, and I don't know whether that's a good thing or they're just lazy.
I think there's some tired bodies now.
Yeah. Now they will go again. Hamilton.
It's a warmer day than the last few weeks, so getting closer to the finals conditions. Excellent.
Oh, and another break. He's all on his lonesome though. Good covering tackle. Support got there. Now they can go. There's lots of shouting from this near side. Another big challenge. It's got to go and got to go quick.
Nigel again at first receiver.
Could just hear someone saying it's too late now. I think it was one of the players who was waiting out here. Wanted it a phase earlier. Another little pick and drive from Lamsam. Immelman to Metcalf. Then they will go into midfield, trying to keep his hands free. Does get his hands free. Another little offload, this time to Immelman. Oh, Collegians really under pressure now. And again, I don't know how many times we've said it.
Yeah. Just that little element of clinicalness, not quite there yet.
No, and
the breaks are excellent.
I'm just confused here because the scoreboard in the ground says 24-12. Ours says 24-12. I'm convinced it should be 24-14.
Dave, I think we'd have to write them all out down and. So what's the chat saying?
7 points for a penalty try. I'm almost sure of that.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, so it should be, and it was 7 before, so we are right.
Oh, there we go. It's that was you, Dave. There you go. Right. You've had the impact.
We got to send a text message to someone at who's in charge of the old Collegians scoreboard now. There we go. Look, see, we're right.
That's right. Highlighting it. So
but that is
2 points closer than that.
It's a new scoreboard, isn't it? This year? This year, last year?
Last year. Yep.
Big scrum from Burnside. We've seen that's one apiece really now, isn't it?
It's wheeled, yeah, but lucky to maintain the feed.
Just restart it again. What do you think about that rule? I quite like it. It prevents people walking it around on purpose.
It did get very messy there for a while because it picked up on the tactic that if one of the props doesn't push, you can really wheel a scrum extremely quickly.
And then it was just, it went around 90 and it would swap, and then the next one would go around 90 and it would swap.
Yep.
So the fact that we just reset kind of takes away any advantage from it. And the scoreboard here has finally caught up. Good work, Crossy. Don't know who you told, but... Oh, Cologne's looking to come out. Huge collision from Harrison. I don't know who the...
That's what Old Cole's exit play here, so... Yeah.
Just the
box kick from Sadler, under pressure.
Oh, he had a couple of bites at it, but got there eventually. And Green will send it to Immelman. Immelman hit by Sadler. There's some groans from the crowd, but absolutely nothing wrong with that challenge. And they will go again. Can they make this extra man
count?
Rolling
into a pick and go game,
Yeah. Lam Sam fights the ground, and then they will pick and go again.
Chewing off 2-3 metres each time.
And another one from Walton. Walton makes very, very good yards off his. Will they go? At what point will they go? That's a good, almost a good steal from Burgess. Hamilton, soft hands into the middle. They've taken it in bite-sized chunks. Now they will go. Metcalf. Oh, it didn't quite work for Elliott, but what can he do? Again, they just push it a little bit too hard. We're coming back for something. Players look almost out on their feet at the moment.
So Sean Meredith is on there as well, so there's been 2 changes in the back.
Meredith, I keep calling him Metcalf. Meredith, that's his name. Meredith is there. I think I saw
2 fellas from Burnside who have played a full game of second grade.
I think I saw Brown come on as well. Not sure what the penalty is for. Sadler is down away to our right. I think it's an uncomfortable injury for him as well, just based on how his groin. He's hurt his groin, I think. I think it's a groin impact injury.
The inner thigh has taken a blow, I think. Yeah, he's got the run of a man who's...
Yeah, he's worn one. So just trying to see what we're coming back for. I never saw a signal. It's a penalty.
Interesting to see what they do here.
Crossing, I think.
Packing a scrum.
Yeah, they have gone with the scrum.
That's good opportunities here for Burnside with a back in the bin.
They will have the one-man advantage, but it looks like they've tried to match numbers over this side. I think every single Burnside back is on the near side of the scrum. That blind side is completely left open.
Well, what's Old Coles here are playing with no fullback, so that's the space behind if they want to roll the dice with putting a grubber through, which we saw in the first half.
Well, it looks like they're going for it. And that was going to be my point. With a runner like Marshall, it's dangerous to leave that undefended. They've managed to work a way through it. They still want to look down that narrow side. Now they're going to come back over the top of all the forwards. Manages to just get the legs pumping and take another bit of yardage off. Then Eliyippa steps back inside. Runs into 2 old Collegians players.
Back into some traffic. But good runners here.
Marshall. Another good tackle. Immelman to Lam Sam. Lam Sam will step back inside. They try and hold him up as well. No, I don't. I think he's actually gone. I think he's actually, that's the best. I think we would have seen the same thing anyway, but I didn't see a release at all then from Mr. Curtin, so I think it probably should have been a penalty, and they would have taken a scrum anyway, so we are where we are.
The opportunity to rip is over once the player's knees hit the ground.
So scrum, what's about 6-7 metres out. They did get a decent shove on last time. Again, Fraser Green is over on that far side now. I think we see Rockaborough about to enter the fray. They got 2 in the bin. Is Jess Graham in the bin as well?
I don't believe so. But I do see him over there on the naughty chair.
Yeah. I didn't see, unless somebody went when we were looking at Will Sadler. Try and get a quick count. 2, 3. No, I think they have. I think they're 2 down. I think they're a forward down and a back down.
Back down, yep. Well, if they don't get some points out of this little camp out, it's opportunity missed.
That would be memories of last year's grand final, where they had a good amount of time with a 2-player advantage and they didn't come out with anything. Fleetwood Piper's coming back in, but Graham is still there, I think they're still so there's still a player down, but now at least they're matched up in the backs.
And that's that when Marshall broke off the last one, maybe going to the backs could have been the better option, just to put the Old Coast backs under pressure while they were man down.
So they do have the advantage. Marshall now will come this side. Manages to shake away from the first tackle and the second tackle. Finally brought down. Flat ball. Oh, that's a shot from Bartlett. Now they will go. Just lowers the shoulder, looks for space. Does manage to get over there. So Burnside will get another try, and they have scored while they've got an advantage. The kick to come.
That was a lovely build up there. A couple of good tight straight running phases. There was a good shot, but still support was there.
But that's then your 13 out, and then the try is scored in that 13 channel.
Just good aggression to get that try. He's got an extra 2 steps, drove himself for an extra 2 steps. Yeah, it's a great shot, that one.
It is a good hit. Now
that's 2 people, no rights to score. And
yeah, and that's when the flat ball and the miss ball does work, because he had that inside runner, or the short runner, who just holds that defence a little bit. So this kick is important. It's 19 points to 24. It will take us to a penalty goal difference with a lot of time to play, and Burnside have the wind in their sails at the moment.
Absolutely. They're a bit shell-shocked, Old Coles, and it's the point of the game.
The thing is as well is that the penalties are there. The more you then argue with it and that you take yourself off your game, the worse it's going to be. Fraser Green takes his time on it, lines it up, sends it on its way. There, the flags will go up. He turned around. He was on his way back to halfway.
He was indeed.
Before it went over.
It's quite a short run up, but squeezes in a couple of extra steps in there, and wonderful strike.
Really different style to Will Sadler, who I've really enjoyed watching kick. He puts everything into it.
Yeah, it's a real roundhouse swing to it.
Both feet come off the ground on the follow through. It's good to watch.
Another good kick off.
And there is Rockaborough.
Wonderful take.
Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
Man sends it into midfield. Murison will try and make some extra yardage, and he does make good yardage. Then a little pick and go. Looks like Rockaborough is going to go into halfback. Another little pick and drive. Now they will go. Just doing the same as Burnside, but Gary Mann's going to have to tidy that up.
So do a lot of work here.
Almost brushed both of them off. There's an old Collegian player down. Just nursing that soldier. Curtin will try again with the step back inside. And a big don't argue. Massive don't argue on Immelman.
But big contact afterwards, though. Oh.
Busby tried to kick it through. Didn't quite work. Now it'll get out to Fraser Green. Can Fraser Green find some time and space? Puts the ball onto foot. Green versus Fleetwood Piper.
Oh, should have dived on it.
Fleetwood Piper almost made a complete mess of it. Penalty. Not releasing. But your big number 5 is struggling. He's up and about, but slow. Rokes, I think his name is. Here we'll see the restart, and Rockaborough.
Jean Rokes. Wonderful. I mean, again, off the back of a try, Old Coles have come out firing, but that time, the defence into attack from Burnside was excellent.
So Burnside will take the line out, and this is in very, very dangerous position for the Old Collegians. see what they can do.
I think we'll see the driving maul here.
They didn't. Yeah, that's going and going very, very quickly. Over the line, can they get it down? Yes, they can. The Burnside sideline erupts. I think that's Partington who's come up and is getting the high fives. So they will get 2 points in front. Good lineup. Oh, we got hands on that again, I don't know.
Ah, there it is.
It's Nigel Lamstone. It's always Nigel. So Lamstone with the try.
Look, there's a fight at the back to try and pass it back.
It's mine. And they were a good 3-4 meters over the try line. Or is that the 5 meter line?
That's the 5, yeah. No.
Yeah, it's been dangerous all day. So they've gone 2 points in front.
It's a really quick form. You know they have worked out where everyone needs to be, and the drive spearing straight through the middle. And made easy work of it.
The Burnside fans and bench erupted after that. There is still 10 minutes to go.
Well, I mean, for a defence into attack, an 80-metre turnaround, you know, you've got to be happy with the result there.
So Green takes his time. Ooh, almost too much time.
Yeah.
But I think the charge down did enough.
Did enough. Alex Rockabara there.
So 2 points the difference. And, you know, Fraser took a huge amount of time over that kick. And I was about to say, kind of have to now. Every single kick, every single point is massively important now for these two teams.
Well, the last kick-offs have been on the money for Curtin, so...
They have been really good today. In fact, all of the restarts today have been very, very good.
Burnside guys have the hand to the forehead, trying to block it out.
Good height again. Rockabura is there again. This time Marshall will take it. Then is met by Rockabura. Immelman. Again, Burnside just don't seem to have an exit option. Hamilton decides he will go. Brought down outside the 22, so the exit option kind of goes away. Immelman again. Now Burnside can be a little bit slower.
Nigel, stand in fly half. He is.
I think he just plays where he wants. He's not
just pushes the 10 along.
Outside to Green. Kick goes over the top. Green. Oh, the chase nearly worked. Yeah, I thought I saw a little knock on.
Yeah,
I did see it. Thought I saw a little knock on.
So I don't mind this. I can see some value now of these kicks here. Once they're outside the 22, putting them over, keep them under pressure.
Just there, just a tiny little knock on. So it'll be Old Cole's ball, and there is still a lot of danger in the back three for Old Collegians. Curtin is there, Fleetwood Piper is there. Burgess isn't the runaway threat he used to be, but he can still direct traffic from midfield.
Yeah, he's got a good long pass on him, but generally he's used as the straightener, the solid phase one ball. It's interesting whether they take that option. Or has a go.
Now they'll go to Fleetwood Piper. Fleetwood Piper will look.
Oh, and he's lost that.
Covering tackle. Great covering tackle. Metcalf is met by a couple. Heard the groan as he had the air knocked out of him. Just heard Mr. Jackson say settle down. There is 8 minutes to go, and it is starting to get a little bit testy between these two sides. Quite frequently there's a little bit going on afterwards.
It was all the way through the grades and even down into the juniors. You know, it's all friendly competition and just a little bit of afters, as you say, Dave.
So Burnside will have the scrum. Everyone bar Metcalf away to that far side. Now they will go. Marshall puts it on the boot.
Oh,
Charge down.
here.
Who's going to get there first? Rockerborough's going to get there first. Who's going to win the foot race? Burnside will win the foot race and manage to clear. But there are old Collegians all over the place here. If they just, fortunately for Burnside, there was
some players hanging back.
Yeah,
interesting
shall we say
decision.
tactically in the right place at the right time.
Great cover from that replacement player there.
Yeah, I'll get his name. It's one of the ones I don't.
Saved a short try.
It's the young man who had the sore neck in the first half. Blackham, I think his name is. Graham will go off the top to Rockerborough, then out to Curtin, into midfield to Burgess, drops back inside to Bartlett. Bartlett is held up, but it is going to come back. Rockerborough will find Graham. Graham will just put that big red head of his down and take a couple of yards. Then Rockerborough will go and try and find a spot. Can't quite get there. Massive shouts out from that right wing. How will it go? Busby will put it down.
We had advantage, but it's a mistake.
High one. Now they are 2 points behind. A kick at goal will put them a point in front with around 4 minutes to play on our watch. 4 minutes
I think it's
plus
a smart
stoppage
decision.
time.
Yeah. I think it's a smart decision to have the shot here.
So who would be your goal kicker now that I think Alex has just wandered over and grabbed the tee? Timmy Dawes asked what the score was. What are the scores, Mr. Dawes? And it is Alex Rockerborough who's going to take a shot at goal. If they brought him a selection of tees, he's got three to
shop,
choose
open
from.
up the shop, yeah.
Any one of these, sir. Huge amount of pressure on this kick. You might look at it and go, well, it's bang in front. There's a lot riding on it.
Nicely done. Calm,
Flags and the crowd will tell you that that one was good.
This is the game we wanted it to be, isn't it? This is.
I tell you what, every time we see these two teams play,
It's now on every moment now. Any missed tackle, a knock on, there will be an eruptive cheer from one side of this ground or the other.
you have to be absolutely perfect from now on. Like we said, 2.5 minutes plus red time. You talk about mistakes, nearly didn't go 10, but it is going to be old Collegians ball. Can they make it last? Man.
Caught high and well delivered.
Offside. That's a gimme for old Collegians. Take your time. That's the Burnside faithful in the background.
Made the long journey.
Yes. It would feel like a long journey tonight if this is the final scoreline, because they are in second place at the moment. Old Collegians in third. I think Old Collegians would leapfrog them into second place.
Oh, the short quick one. Jeez, I'm not sure that went to 5.
Oh, and it didn't look. And it didn't.
They've gotten away with one. Caught everyone off guard, that one.
Yeah, in the background, I did see Peter Arnold giving friendly advice to the referee at the top of his lungs. So it looks like they're going to set up for the scrum. Free kick scrum.
Yeah,
they're asking about time at every single breakdown now.
It'll be interesting here whether Old Cols takes a settler, takes Burgess on the route 1, or takes that expansive option. Lately it's been the expansive option, but it hasn't quite been clicking.
So in front of that old Collegians balcony, Rockerborough to Curtin to Bartlett. Bartlett will straight. And then Rockerborough will go. Stick a fork in it, ladies and gentlemen, because this one is done. Rockerborough saw a gap to the right-hand side of the rock, and Rockerborough will come on and put a dagger in the hearts of the men from Kensington Oval.
From the moment he picked that up, gone. There was just a moment of failing to get to that first post, and he probably eyed it up early, I think.
He's probably seen it a couple of times and just
track him, yeah, sitting on the bench, and he's gone. There's no one. There we go, no one at all.
Nobody had come to that near side.
There's a vacant post, and that's all he needed. Like you said, probably watched it while he was sitting on the bench.
So,
convert his own try.
We'll move into red time. Don't know how much longer there is. I don't know that there's been any major injuries. And if just nobody manages to get to that near side, the flags will go up. So the difference is not too much now. 8 points the difference, and we are in red time, so I think that could be it. So it'll be all change in second and third.
Maybe time here for the kick-off. It's a better kick-off.
Good kick from Eliepa.
Dawes, excellent work.
Dawes rising high. Rockaborough to Graham.
Let's see how Old Collegians do with settling this
Lamsam
down.
almost got hands on. The clean-out was good enough.
Settling this down, but
now
still.
they've decided to come out, and now they're going to go over the top to McDonough. McDonough will put his head down. Good covering challenge. He's got away with one. It's popped out. And sent to Curtin. Curtin will look just to try and find another couple of yards. Does manage to find the floor as well. Flat ball.
Mokomoko there.
Mokomoko into midfield, and he will get over the top. Rockaborough again, then Curtin again with a little step inside. Beats the first one. Marshall rips again.
Yep.
Pickpockets.
A couple of wonderful rips today.
Immelman to Walton. Walton pulls it out the back. Goes to ground. Long mazy run around this side, then just throws it to Brown. Brown will step inside, then he will bring it out through the first challenge. Burgess loses him as well. Finally he's brought down inside the Old Collegians half to Marshall, to Lamsam. Lamsam will step back inside, look for the offload. Found Hamilton. Arm is out.
Could this
the
be?
Old Collegians sideline will go nuts. Final whistle.
And they are 1-1 here this year.
A game that swung back and forth, a game that was as enthralling and as tense as the one we saw in round 3. This time Old Collegians come away with the chocolates, and the bragging rights of Greenhill Road go to the men in blue and red.
Wonderful game there to watch, Dave. Really enjoyed that. But that threat of the rolling maul from Burnside is something I think everyone's going to have to watch out for.
So as we said, Burnside go down in this one, and we will be all change.
And here's the moment.
And here we'll see the decisive moment as
straight run from Bartlett.
Just
and then
not enough cover.
Nothing there.
And over he'll go, and probably one of the easiest tries that he will score in his career. And when the nearest person to you as you score the try is your own back rower, you know it's been an easy one. So ladies and gentlemen, from Tregenza Oval, from me, Dave Webb, and Pete Cross, thank you very much for choosing to spend your afternoon with us, and we will speak to you again next week.
Thank you, Dave.